Today is going to be the first official check-in of starting the lean mass method. The exact same method that all of my clients use that get results, the exact same method that I've used in the past. Now, obviously, I haven't been able to train properly. This past week has been ridiculous with regards to moving in, getting furniture, all those things. So it's also been a bit difficult for me to stick on meal plan. But today is going to be the mark of doing everything on point. I've got the pots, I've got the pans, I even got myself a nice little pressure cooker. So we're going to be ready. But today is going to be the first check-in, okay? Now I'm going to take you guys through the exact journey that I go through, the system that I go through that is going to help me build lean quality mass. My goal is to get nice and lean, not super shredded, but nice and lean and pick up lean mass in the process, okay? I'm going to show you guys exactly how I manipulate my diet, how I create my diet based on my specific weight, height, body type. Then from there, how I structure it to help me build quality lean mass and not just pick up fat in the process or get super skinny after a cut. Okay, so we're going to start off with the check-ins. I'm going to give you guys visuals, my weight, how the front, side, and back is looking. And every single week, I'm going to update that. I'm going to treat myself exactly the way I treat my clients. That's check-ins every single week, manipulating macros, the diet, all based on what their schedule is and my specific schedule. And for me, I can't train more than 3 times per week. Okay? After a training session, my back is in a decent amount of pain, so I need at least 1 rest day in order for me to actually recover and for my back not to be in so much pain. So I will push through the pain when it comes to it. And I mean, this week with the moving, it's been really, really bad. I haven't been able to get to the gym because I've been moving fridges, dishwashers, washing machines, all those things. And it's just given me a reminder of how bad the situation actually is. I'm still waiting on the medical aid. There's a bunch of things like I can't do it out of pocket because if anything happens in the future, like let's say I get into a motorcycle accident with my bike, they won't cover it because the first procedure was not covered by the medical aid. So we've got people sorting that out, but I'm hoping that it gets sorted sooner than later. But that's not going to stop me. I'm still going to make sure I show up and I can still stay 100% consistent with my meal plan, with my nutrition, with my supplementation, and with my recovery protocols. And of course, doing the training 3 times per week. It's also a good opportunity. Summer's coming around the corner, so I'm going to be out on the beach, walking about, still doing my faster cardio. I'm actually going to do my faster cardio straight after these check-ins. But yeah, follow along. If your goal is to build lean quality mass, you will get a ton of value. You will understand how the process works. And let's flip and do it. Let's go. Right, let's see what we're working with. 101.8. Okay, there you guys can see the visuals. Not looking too bad considering I haven't been on track for such a long time. There's a decent weight drop, about 9 kilos if I'm not mistaken. Majority of the weight has been dropped in fat, but also definitely some muscles, specifically in the legs, because I really haven't been able to work them for probably 17 weeks now. I haven't been able to train them. Started getting into walking, which has been good. This past week has been really tough, obviously, with all the moving, so I haven't been on top of that. But I'm gonna go do my faster cardio now. Gonna go to the beach for that faster cardio, come back, hit breakfast, and then structure my meal plan. Now, I'm gonna be starting my meal plan today. Even though the journey starts on Monday, which is tomorrow, I'm gonna be hitting it today because I do not want to procrastinate. Why not do it today? I also got myself a nice pressure cooker. I'm gonna do a fat meal prep, make sure I get everything on point, and then there we go. But I'll see you guys. I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna restructure or structure the meal plan, the high days, the low days, how it's gonna link up with my training, all those types of things, as well as the supplementation protocols and the recovery protocols. All right, guys, I have created my plans, all specifically based on my specific stats, right? What my goals are and what my body type is. Okay. Now, as mentioned, my goal is to build lean mass. I'm not looking to go into a growth phase at the moment. I'm not looking to put on any extra size because I just can't push myself hard enough with the injury that I'm currently going through. So I've structured a routine in a way that allows me to have enough rest, right? Because after a session, just from walking around, moving benches, picking up dumbbells, my back is in a decent amount of pain. So I'm giving myself at least 4 days of rest, specifically 1 day in between each workout or each exercise session, exercise day, training day, just so I can have some time to relax and the back and just get a bit better. And the next day, just mess it up again, if that makes sense. I haven't trained properly in probably 17, 18 weeks. It's been on and off. You know, with that being said, it's been difficult to stick to the meal plan because I find routine really comes to me like I am way more disciplined and structured when I have a routine, when I'm following a training routine. So I've decided I'm hopping back into it. I'm going to do what I can, and I've structured my workouts in a way that I can actually do them. But the main reason that I'm making this video is to show you guys exactly how I do it. So first of all, let's hop onto my stats. Okay, so these are the most recent progress photos. It is Sunday today, and I've just taken these. And as you can see, this is the front, the side, and the back. Now, what I want to be doing here is these are the visuals. So along with visuals, I'm going to be tracking my weight as well, okay? Because so many of us, and I used to do this in the past, fixate on scale weight. We're like, oh, I'm not getting bigger because the scale isn't going up, or the scale goes up and you're just packing on fat in the process. My goal is not to add fat, okay? I'm adding quality lean mass. And here, right now, I'm going through the priming phase of the lean mass method. Now, the lean mass method is the exact method that I've used and developed over the years of trial by error that all of my clients are using and get their crazy insane results. And the exact same method that I've been using in the past to help me get to competitions, all of the things I've learned from top coaches, from working with a bunch of different people, from studying. So with all of that, I've developed this lean mass method, and I'm going to be following it. And this lean mass method is of 3 different main phases. Phase 1 is the priming phase, phase 2 is the growth phase, and phase 3 is the optimal phase. Now, I'm going to be staying in the priming phase for a while until I am at 100%, because that priming, that growth phase and the optimal phase does require you to be at optimal performance. Okay, and I'm obviously not there. I will be hopefully soon after the surgery is done, but then I'm just going to try and hop back into it after surgery. Apparently, there's going to be far less pain in any case post-surgery because the nerve is no longer going to be pinched like really badly in my spine. So there'll be less pain. So I'm probably going to end up in the gym in any case the next day. But we'll see how that all goes. But first of all, how I track it. So I'm going to be doing check-ins every single Sunday. That is where I'm going to wake up in the morning. I'm going to do my fasted weight and my fasted visuals. That's the front, the side, and the back. This gives me a good representation of what my body fat percentage is looking like, if I've got any imbalances. Here, for example, because I've taken this photo, I can see that I've got an imbalance with regards to my back. You see how skewed it is? I'm almost leaning to the one side, and that's because my whole back is messed up. Okay. And there I can see I need to work a little bit on the chest because my shoulders are very overpowering, and the back is decent. I mean, we can definitely bring some more detail out there. And forearms, of course, is for me a little bit of a weak point. Now, with regards to the legs, I don't take the leg photos because you have seen them earlier, but this is just a better visual representation of the top off, because I'm going to get a better idea of what the body fat percentage is looking like when I have a proper look at the midsection area. Okay, so now that the visuals are in, along with visuals, I will also be tracking my biometrics. Okay, so that's my body weight. So the starting body weight is 225 or 224 pounds. That's what I added today. You can't see it on here for some reason. Let me see if I can find it. Let's go to the dash. Okay, so this will be my dash. Every single one of my clients has got their own personal dash. So as you can see there, I'm 224 pounds. That was this morning's fasted weight.
and I will track that. And if we go back to that visual, the graph, that graph will show us if the weight is increasing, if it's decreasing, so I can manipulate the plan how it needs to be manipulated. But now that I've got that in order, we're going to go off to the meal plan. Now, when it comes to the meal plan, this is how I structure it. Exact same way for my clients as well. This is entirely based on my specific body type, right? Based on my goals. I know my body very well. Now, how I will find out what my maintenance calories are, now that is the amount of food that you need to eat to sustain what you already have. So let's say I'm 224 pounds. If I eat this amount, I will stay at 224 pounds. Now, if you want to drop weight, what's going to happen is you're going to drop those calories by around 250, maybe 300 calories, depending on what the visuals are looking like again. And also that is where the macro manipulation comes in, because if you're just following a calorie deficit and you don't really care about the macros, what's going to end up happening in a cutting phase or a priming phase, you're going to lose the weight, but you're also going to lose muscle in the process. And that's what you do not want. You want to prioritize losing fat. And the exact same thing applies when going into growth phase. Your goal is to pick up 10 pounds. If you're just going in a ridiculous surplus, you're going to pick up more fat than muscle tissue. So it's super important to make sure that you got your macros in order. Now, a super simple way. Now, I have got software, right? My app calculates what the TDE is, so the maintenance calories. I put in my stats, my clients put in their stats, their height, their weight, their age, their activity level. But you guys can literally go and do that on ChatGPT and it will give you a baseline. It will give you about an estimate. So mine is around 3,500 calories, between 3,200 to 3,500 calories per day in order to maintain my physique. But me, I know my body type, just like I know my clients, how the different food works, because I've worked with them for over months, some years. I know how the body works, okay? And that's how I can manipulate. So in me personally, I know that I have a very fast metabolism. Okay, so I like to push the calories just by an extra 250. So let's say I'm 3,500 calories, I pushed it to 3,700 calories. But as you can see here, there are two meal days. Okay. First one is day one. Second one is day two. Now, what this is known as, this is carb cycling, where you move between two different meal days. One, the calories are higher, the carbs are also specifically higher. And day two, the calories are lower and the carbs are specifically lower. And the reason why we do this is because we want to again prioritize building lean mass and not picking up fat or dropping fat without losing muscle. Now, on your training days, you're going to need more carbohydrates because you're going to be pushing weight. Okay, you're going to be using more energy. You're going to be burning more calories. So you need, first of all, fuel to push those heavy lifts, and you need fuel for the recovery. And carbohydrates are going to play a really good role in this if you know how to manipulate and use them correctly. So let me show you guys exactly. So day one is my high day. So these are the meal days that I'm eating when I am going to be training. Okay, so meal one will be breakfast. I go 4 eggs, 2 slices of sprouted, or I'll do sourdough because it's just much better on the digestion. But as you can see here, I will always start with a 40% carbs, 40% protein, and a 20% fat. Okay, that is always the baseline on a high day specifically. Then for my second meal, which will be a snack, I'll have Greek yogurt, frozen berries, dark chocolate, whey protein powder. I'll have a ton of whey protein powder because protein is the main builder for muscle. Yeah, and it's going to be the biggest thing that's going to help aid recovery. Then second of all, I'll have my lunch, which is always whole foods. Okay, all of the foods in this plan are good quality whole foods, because if you're eating shitty foods and you're just looking at X amount of calories, I mean, you can, if you are just following a meal plan that's like, I got to hit my 2,000 calories to lose weight, you can go get McDonald's with 2,000 calories, but the food quality is so bad that you're just going to feel like shit and you're going to end up looking like shit. So jasmine rice, very well digestible. Chicken breast, very clean. Mixed veggies. Now, veggies, I'll do mixed. I prefer broccoli. I can change it up. Exact same thing. I can replace chicken breast for turkey. I can replace it with fish. whatever I want to replace it with, but I prefer chicken. It's easier as well. Post-workout meal. These are the most important meals, your post-workout and your pre-workout meal. So post-workout meal, I've added cornflakes, okay, by Kellogg's. So cornflakes, I can also have Rice Krispies, or I can have Cocoa Pops because their macros are fairly similar. This is going to help replenish glycogen stores after training. So when you train, you push heavy weight, and glycogen is going to be the main source of fuel. So it's going to deplete. It's going to go out of your muscles. Now, in order for you to recover properly, you need to replenish that. And cornflakes or cereal or even cream of rice is going to be very fast digestible. Okay, so it's going to replenish those glycogen stores super quickly. So then we've got dinner. Dinner, I'll have sweet potatoes, right? Or I'll have potatoes, broccoli, and then I'll do something like red meat, where I will either have venison, I will have beef, I can have salmon, I can have whatever. I will stay away from lamb because it's very, very fatty. But these are the meats. And as you can see here, I don't always feel like the same carb source. So sometimes I want pasta. And I have put in the replacements there. So instead of having 300 grams of pasta, I can have 75 grams of jasmine rice, or 70 to 75 grams of pasta, or 300 grams of sweet potato or of potato, because this is going to be the same macros as what I'm having there. So there is a lot of flexibility in a meal plan, and that's very, very important, because if you're eating the same boring shit all the time, the likelihood of you staying consistent to that is going to drop by a decent amount. You're probably going to stay consistent for a week or 2 weeks, and then you're going to fall off because you're eating the same stuff. No one wants to eat the same shit. But if you can, good for you. So that's what we've got here. Then we've got the pre-workout meal, also very important, because this is basically what's going to determine how your session goes. Not only are you going to need good macros, carbs in specific, for your energy levels, for how heavy you're going to push in the gym, so how well you're going to perform in the gym, but you also need whey protein powder for when you're training. It's going to rebuild the muscle tissue, which is going to happen afterwards. But you want to make sure that you've got aminos and you've got all of those things going. Peanut butter as well is going to work really well because it's a fat source for sustainable energy. And that is how I'll structure 100 grams of oats. Super good. I promise you, if you guys just copy this right now, literally steal this, have this, and add some pink salt. Okay, 1 gram of pink salt with every meal I add as well. Go and steal this right now. Have it about 45 minutes to an hour just before your training session, and tell me exactly how that session went. Okay, put it in the comments below. So that is basically day 1 of my meal plan. Now, day 2, check there. So that is a 5% drop in carbs. So I'm only starting off lightly now because, again, I want to see how my body works with this. And then I can make further manipulation and adjustments based on next week's check-in or the following week. So it's fairly similar: 4 eggs, slices of toast, snack. I'll do the same there. The only thing basically that I'm going to be removing here is going to be the post-workout meal, which is the cereal. Okay, that is one of the biggest things that will change. The calories will drop by about, what is this, 200. You can drop the calories between 500 and 200 calories. That's going to be the difference in your high and low days. As I said, I know my body in a specific way. I work well with the 200 difference. And that might change. That might change in the next month, because that might change in the next 2 months, because my body is going to be responding completely differently with the changes in the meal plan. So now you guys have basically got a full layout of how you should eat, okay, how you should structure your meals, and not just that, the types of foods you want to eat. Now, again, the macros are going to be specifically based on your body type. The macro distribution might be completely different as well. I mean, I've got clients that I've had to put on 50% carbs because they just work through the food so quickly. Then I've got other clients who need to go on about 25 to 30% carbs and higher protein intake because their body just doesn't use it as efficiently yet, because they are still going through that priming phase. Now, that's basically what we have there. The beautiful thing about this, and why it makes it super easy for my clients, is I will send this to them, right? So I'll print it out. This is exactly what they will receive. Let's wait for it to load for a second. I don't know where it's gone now. Anyway, it sends them an entire thing, right? The whole list, a grocery list. So I'll go do, I've done a shop already of all of these foods. I'm just going to do my meal prep and that's going to be sorted. So there's the idea of how you should be structuring your meal plan, what foods to include, and how to split up your macros. Next up, I have got the overview. So every single one of my clients, I'm treating myself as a client now, so I've done it for myself as well. This is going to help me stay consistent. Okay. Check-ins Mondays and Thursdays. That will be for majority of my clients, especially this will be for the elite clients. We'll be doing 2 check-ins per week to make sure everything is on point, that we can make the right changes whenever needed. But for me, I will be doing it every single Sunday. So let me change that to Sunday. Ooh. Okay, so let's change it to Sunday. Now I am going to be in the priming phase. That's the current phase that I'm going through, is the priming phase of the lean mass method. I am 224 pounds. The phase duration is going to be for 8 weeks. This is just the beginning. Okay, I want to see how my body responds. If I drop a decent amount of fat super quickly, and I am ready to move into the growth phase, then I will go into a mini growth phase. I will not reach the optimal phase at the moment because, again, optimal phase is where your strength is going to be insane. You're going to be lifting the heaviest weight that you've ever lifted. You're going to have tons of energy. You're just going to become an absolute monster during this phase. Okay. And it takes some time to get there, maybe 6 months, depending on how consistent you are and how well you stick to the plan. But then it's a whole breakdown, just an overview. So training schedule, Monday to Sunday, we say training days, rest days. Okay, it's stated on the meal plan. Then the dietary schedule will be linked with the training. Okay, as you can see here, on the training day, you've got a high day. On the active rest day, you've got a low day. Now, I've implemented 2 cheat meals per week. Now, these cheat meals, I can still enjoy Uber Eats. I get burger, pizza, Thai, whatever I feel like. I do it twice per week. I don't need to do it anymore because the food that I eat is already super good. I mean, people go to a steakhouse to have a fancy dinner. I eat steak every single day, right? Or I can have ground beef. So that's what we have there, 6 liters of water. Make sure that you're flushing. Your hydration is super important. A lot of you guys that follow me know that I have my electrolytes every single morning. I drink a ton of water, probably go through about 2.5 liters just at the gym by itself. So that's basically just linked with that. The cheat meals are going to be on those days. Now, the biggest times that you actually have your cheat meals is if you are lagging on specific week points, right? Let's say you want to grow your chest. You will have a cheat meal there. You'll push the carbs up slightly higher on that cheat meal. And it's not a cheat day. I'm not going to have shit every single meal. It's just dinner usually. If I want to go out for dinner, if I want to go to friends, if we want to do something, I can use that as my cheat. Date night, whatever you want. And I'll just stay consistent. And if I eat too much of it, I actually just feel sick. Like my body doesn't, after being on a healthy meal plan, not only does your energy start going through the roof and you're more driven, you're more focused, everything just improves so much. You just wake up and you're like, I'm super excited for this day. Let's do it. Because you're feeding yourself, you're giving yourself really good food. You're giving yourself nutrients. This is what we need. Okay, the body craves that. Now, when I have a cheat meal, right, and I do it because it's taste. I enjoy it for the taste. But if I have a cheat meal, then the next day I'll have stomach issues. I feel a bit not down, not sad, but I'll feel lethargic because it's filled with tons of oil. Sometimes it's got a MSG in it. It's got super high sodium. So you'll notice the next day you'll bloat quite a bit. So for those of you guys that eat a lot of junk food, it's because of the oils and it's because of the sodium that's in there that you're feeling shitty or you're tired the next day or you've got that puffy feeling when you wake up in the mornings. That's usually what it's linked to. Then I have my supplements. So pre-workout, pre-cardio, as you guys know, the 10 grams of glutamine and I will have 1 serving of electrolytes. Okay, that is going to be magnesium, sodium, and potassium. That's going to get me sorted for the day. Intra-workout, I'll do 10 grams of creatine monohydrate. I have 15 grams of EAAs, and then I'll have a scoop of carbs. Okay, so carb source. This is just as important. So you got 3 of the most important things during your day when it comes to like performance, growth, recovery. Pre-workout meal, intra-workout, that is going to give you the extra boost. There's nothing worse than going to the gym, like with that intention to just lift heavy, hit PRs, like have an awesome session, and then halfway through, you just go flat. So that's going to help you do that. You've got to sip on that throughout the day. Once again, you guys can literally steal this. Use this exact thing, and you'll see what a mad difference it makes. I'll have with my first meal multivitamins, omega-3s, vitamin D3, vitamin C. This is all going to help with the immune system, and all of these play these little micronutrients. Everyone's always focusing on the macronutrients, but micronutrients play a huge role when it comes to building muscle tissue, okay, bone structure, all of that stuff. Like, it's like the difference between, I'm not into cars, but let's say a Toyota Yaris and I don't even know what it's called, like a shitty Toyota or something and a Lamborghini. Okay, they still do the same thing. They get you from point A to point B. The Lamborghini looks a lot better, okay, and it performs a lot better because what's being put into developing that car is way more, right? They got everything on point. And the same applies here. You can have your training can be super good, but if your nutrition isn't good, your supplementation isn't good, your recovery isn't good, you're not going to be that Lamborghini, right? You're going to be that. I still can't think of a shitty car. You're going to be a moped. Let's put it that way. So that's basically what we got there. Final meal, magnesium glycinate. This is super good for like relaxing, sleeping. You'll have an awesome night's rest. And then again, I'll have omega-3 fish oil. Is really good for inflammation. It helps with building muscle like crazy. So there we go. Screenshot this, steal this. Remember, for me specifically, my training is a bit different at the moment because of my injuries. So I will usually train 4 to 5 times per week. Overtraining, again, you don't want that because it's just going to, it's actually going to just hinder development, okay, of muscle tissue because growth happens during the recovery phase. Okay, let's go to my calendar. So as you guys can see, this is how I have structured my training plan. Now, when it comes to the training, okay, you'll have, with all of my clients, they've got this on their dashboard. They have access to my app. They open the app and they can see literally, this is the calendar. Now, for some of my clients, they will have specific things. I have clients that have issues with their mid back, so I will add additional work in there. I've got clients that have issues with their knees, so I'll create a plan based on that. Me, issues with my back. So what have I done here? I've created a split. Now, the split that I always follow and that I always do for my clients is a push-pull leg split. I've had to change it up now because I cannot train legs properly. So I still want to make sure I'm hitting every single muscle group, okay, and getting adequate recovery in between. So I've structured a chest, shoulders, quads, and calves there. What I'm going to be doing for quads is literally only going to be leg extensions. I'm trying it for the first time in weeks, months. I'm trying for the first time in months. Then I'll have an active rest day. That doesn't mean I'm going to go sit on my ass and do nothing. During that active rest day, another thing that I've challenged, a goal that I've set out is to go and do more stuff. Go to the beach, go to the park, whatever, flip and go play putt-putt. Like, I want to be more active. I want to do more things. Summer's around the corner. I find sometimes that like I'm super locked in that I'll be behind my desk and I'll be grafting and working that I just kind of lose a lot of the day. Like, I love it, but I can structure things a lot better. And that's what I'm going to be doing as well. Completely restructuring my schedule. Then walking will be fasted 20 minutes every single morning. Now, this is not only going to really help you burn the fat, but it is also going to set your day up for success. There's just a great thing, right? Waking up in the morning, when the sun's not even up. I wake up 5:30, somewhere around there. The sun's not even up. The birds are chirping. It's that crisp, cool air. And you go and walk. No one's out and about. And you just have 20 minutes to yourself thinking, preparing for the day. And it's not just so crazy. And you come back after that walk just feeling so good for the day. And that's what it's all about. Eh? You want to enjoy life as well. So that is what I'll do. 20-minute fasted walk. I will never be on a cardio or a machine like a treadmill unless I really, really have to for competing. But it's mind-numbing. I really don't like it. So this, for me, doing that morning fasted walk is brilliant. And if you don't have time to do it first thing in the morning, then doing it after your workout is also it's not the end of the world. Okay. But this, I would definitely wake up 20 minutes earlier and get this in for sure. Then I will do midsection control every single day. So I'm strengthening my core. That's also another really good reason, a big reason why I am still able to walk. Now, the spinal surgeon said that I should not be walking at all with how bad the back is. But then he took a look because we did the scans and all of that stuff. And he said, because my core is so strong and there's so much muscle there, it's keeping my upper body up. So there's not that much compression happening, right? If it wasn't for my core, I would be in bed. I would be on bed rest 100%. Then it would be like full-on emergency operation. But it's kind of funny. The thing that messed up my back training, actually it wasn't training. It's more really bad training in the beginning years when I was trying to deadlift as a kid, like doing those ego lifting things. I messed it up there and kind of like over time, it's never given me issues or anything like that. But then all of a sudden it just went boom, and that's probably after those years of training. And I've got a genetic I've got a default, right? Genetic default, because my spinal column is a lot more narrow than the normal one. And it doesn't have space for the nerve to go around. So when it pushes, but enough of my back, I'm just babbling on now. So that's what I've got. So midsection, back and hamstrings. Okay. So that is the posterior chain, the back. I'm going to be focusing on back movements, a lot of machine work. I'm not going to be lifting heavy, not going to be doing any like barbell rows or anything like that. Midsection to strengthen the core. Then I'll do a biceps, triceps, and forearms. And then I'll focus mainly on my arms. And that's that. Okay. Then I'll have 2 days again to rest and recover from my back pain to go away. But again, on these days, I will go to the beach. I'm going to do something new. I'm going to try awesome stuff. Then I'll take my progress photos and track my stats first thing in the morning, fasted. So we've got a good representation every single time. This I will be repeating for 8 weeks. Once I've gone through that 8-week cycle, it will be time for me to do a change up. Now, within this program, right? Let me show you guys what this looks like. So it's got the sets, it's got the reps. Now, I've also added videos. These are for my clients. So if they don't know the form, they can watch the video. If they're not sure still, they send me videos. I will judge how their form is, how their tempo is, and if anything needs to change. And from there, that is how we prevent injuries, for one, and just see mad progress. Because I've also added specific things in here like rest pause sets, strip sets, loaded stretches. These are all techniques that are just going to take you to the next level. Okay. And that's how that looks. Basically, it's got the rest time in between. And when you're actually doing a workout, you start the workout, you do the set, and then it counts the rest for you, and then you hop back into it. So it really also keeps you super accountable. And that's basically that with regards to the training structure. You always work with the majority of my clients. We'll do rest days on a Thursday and a Sunday, so that you've got, it will usually be a push, pull. No, it will usually be a legs one, which is going to be quad dominant. Then it will be a push. Then it will be a pull. Okay, then it will be a recovery day. It will be legs 2, which is more like hamstring dominant or stereo dominant. And then for that Saturday session, it will be based on what their weak points are. So if they've got a small chest and they want to work on their chest, we will add another chest session in along with a cheat meal. But that is basically that, guys. If you really take notes in this video, you structure things like this, you track your macros, you track your progress through weight and progress photos. you will see change. Okay. You've got the supplementation. You just need to hold yourself accountable and make the right adjustments in order to see continuous progress. I've heard so many, clients. I've got a client, Anthony, who for 20 years, he couldn't get past 177 pounds because he was just following the same thing. He was working hard. He was putting in the graft, putting in the grind, super motivated. Comes from a very like fitness oriented background where he did gymnastics, I think professionally, if I'm not mistaken. But he just couldn't get past that point. And I had a consultation with him. I had a game plan strategy call with him. I wanted to see where he was going wrong. It's always never tracked his macros, eating the same, training the same. He followed the lean mass method, and since then he's picked up, I don't want to lie to you now, 41 to 45 pounds of lean mass. You guys can check it on my Instagram. It's in the client wins. Check all the testimonials there as well. Everyone that's followed the lean mass method. But guys, I really hope this helps. I really hope for those of you who are watching this that you actually implement this and you start seeing mad progress. I'll see you guys for the next one. Like, subscribe. Please let me know in the comments if there's anything that you're struggling with, anything you need to know more of, and I can go into depth with that. I will be back at it again. My training starts again tomorrow. I'm going to be back in routine. I'm so excited for it, man. I have missed this so much, and lately I have honestly been feeling like a little bitch because we have done a move, as you guys know, recently. It's like moving fridges, washing machines, man. 2 years ago, no, last year, a couple of months ago, like when we moved the previous time or the previous time before that, I would literally carry the dishwasher and the washing machine by myself. I would grab it, those massive pot plants, I would be able to carry myself. Now I'm struggling to lift up a damn chair. So it sucks, but it's just a reminder of like, damn, being able-bodied is honestly a privilege. So do not take it for granted, man. Get to training, get fit, get healthy, and really be grateful for what you have. But that's me. I'll check you guys for the next one. Let's go.